I've been doing dungeons in Kyrgyzstan, and like I've ran around the entire zone, every little subzone, and I cannot find where these side quests start, and it's driving me crazy.
So I don't call it Kyrgyzstan, I call it Kekistan, because it's just the Kek.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
Fair.
what is the other place? Like,
there's no like
call
quest log, so you don't know what you've already completed. So like when I look up things that have already been completed, like, oh, I don't know if I've done this already.
Yeah.
Side note: what's everybody's most hated mob, and why is it the Nagas?
Dude,
anything that's cold enchanted, straight into the garbage. But yes, Nagas suck. Also the giant pyramid head guys, who are definitely pyramid heads, from Silent Hill. Let's be real. They hurt a lot.
I also don't skeletal like arrow things.
the skeletal
because they're like they hit you like halfway
thing.
across the map. You don't even see them.
So I was doing like a 44 with some of my friends last night, and he's playing a barb, and he literally just walks around the corner like we're getting ready to pull the next pack, and there's a skeleton bow sitting there. Just one shots him, just boom, just 1-0, and I'm like, I just turned around and went the other direction. Oh my god. Yeah, those things really hurt.
Those are the stories that terrify me playing on hardcore.
Yeah, we're just doing stupid shit.
I don't have the patience or the play style to play hardcore. I want to play like fucking hardcore, like WoW Classic, like everybody does, because I'm very heavy-handed, and I would get like past like level 15, I would die, and I'd be so mad.
Yeah, I don't think I have the temperament to play hardcore either. Large bear like to smash spider and do stupid thing, and then maybe survive.
Have you told him what thing you didn't realize was possible until you were, level 66?
Oh, yeah, it was level 66 when I discovered that you can upgrade jewelry at the jeweler. Just did not know you could do that.
Damn!
Do you know that you can add sockets to gear that already has sockets in it?
Did you know you can re-roll certain attributes at the occultist?
For a shit ton of
people who are like invested enough in their fucking gear before max level to do any of this nonsense. That just sounds ridiculous.
Well, because sometimes you'll find like a really good piece of gear that'll have like 3 of the 4 affixes you want, and you're like, well, I can roll this 4th affix to be something also really good, and like this will set me for like a while.
No, fuck that. It's trash.
No.
As soon as there's something else with green number go burr. Other crap goes in trash.
Eventually you'll get, green number plus like actual affixes that are good
green
and not
number go burr.
Oh no. Green number is just
we found
green number is also just armor, which is hilarious.
We did find a little meta for Helltides though, and it's so fun now. You just go into a zone that has got like 4 events kind of in a circuit, and you just go event to event, and you get so many cinders, and then you just run to all the chests of mysteries, and then they'll reset before the end of the Helltide, and you can do them all again. And so I just like farm up like 1,000 cinders in 30 minutes, and then just go to mystery chests.
Oh, that's pretty good. Really? I love the chest of mysteries is really where it's at. Although Tree of Whispers, Tree of Whispers is definitely not giving me good loot. Like, ever.
I feel like Tree of Whispers is designed for, I have 10 minutes to do something on my lunch break. I need a thing that will maybe kind of help.
I found out early on you could triple dip Tree of Whispers for stuff, though. So what I would do is I would get a Tree of Whispers dungeon for a dungeon I haven't done the codex for yet, for a dungeon that I also had a nightmare dungeon for, and you can do all 3 in one.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. That's a good tech.
Sometimes they're like in the same zone as Helltides also. So you can kind of Helltide while you tree.
Has anybody PvP? Well, I know Kazo hasn't. Has anybody PvP? I got a couple ears.
I'm not PvP'd yet because my pulverized build has been so glass cannon. Like, Sav's playing Necro, and he's like, I have 8,800 hit points. I'm like, cool, I have 1.9. 1,000 hit points. And I'm like, if you look at me wrong, this bear dies. But if I look at you, you die. There are choices to be had here. I have to fix Rain's avatar.
That's part of what's fun about hardcore, though, is it kind of opens up a lot more stats that otherwise you'd look at them and be like, why the fuck would I ever want bonus armor? That sounds stupid. But then you're like, bonus armor, though.
Like, oh, max life. Now I want you. And then leveling up, I'm like, let's see, max life or max overpower damage. I'm going to take max overpower damage literally every time. And then I end up at level 75. I go into a dungeon and explode. And I'm like, but Blizzard! Like,
Also,
you
if you didn't know,
more green numbers to go burr with.
no.
If you didn't know, too, the little Legion events, you can get like mounts and mount armor from those.
Oh yeah, I've gotten a ton so far.
Did you get your spectral horse?
Yes.
I'm farming up the
many.
blood orbs in the PvP zone for the one that costs 100,000 shards.
Oof. Good.
Actually, the PvP zone, if you were to like quote unquote level and do those events there, is actually pretty good because there's a very high concentration of elite mobs, and you pick up the whatever they're called, Seeds of Hatred, and you go do a little like 40-second event that turns them into the thing in your bags.
Yeah.
I did like 50,000 in like an hour.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find that it was halfway decent as a pulverized druid?
Oh yeah, it's super easy. The only thing that really bothers me about druid, I don't know if this is how it is in other classes, but like when you go to a healer, it doesn't refill your spirit.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Very annoying.
Yeah, when I get healed, I want my spirit full.
So
Hello?
when I go into a dungeon, if I don't have any spirit, I go into a dungeon. I use like those first 2 rooms of nothing to like just hit the breakable objects to get spirit up.
Yeah, you go around the first room getting mad. You're like, all right, pots, all right, barrels, and you're like fucking smashing everything.
Yeah,
you're just desperate for spirit voice. Give me spirit.
And then I love when you get to like a boss, like a single target boss, and you get like those lucky hit pulverizers that just give you instant full mana back, and you're like, oh yeah, full mana.
Wait, I have to ask, since we're both making druid noises, and apparently the bears are going, are you using Mother's Touch?
I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna say no.
It's the ancestral, it's the unique ring.
Oh, no. The only uniques I wear are the helm and the legs, and then I am wearing the chest because I haven't found a better chest.
Wait, yeah, legs, you're wearing Temerity? Temerity,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then you have Vasily's Prayer.
Vasily's, and then I have Insatiable Fury, where your permanent form is Werebear.
Yeah, I use Vasily's in the Werebear chest. I have not found a Temerity yet, which makes me sad. Anyway, Diablo 4. I have poked the Skinner box, and it has given me dopamine.
Nice.
I've been on my night shift schedule for the last it's been 8 days now, and I fucking hate it.
That sucks. What are your hours?
Right now I wake up at like noon and I go to bed at like 4 in the morning.
Ugh. Wait, yeah, so you were awake during the Crumble launch. So I want to just make sure when I'm texting you about Crumble cookies that I'm not waking you up from your slumber.
I'll get to this way. When I messaged you about the Mark Rebe thing, I had to like consider the fact that you were probably asleep. And I was like, do I want to send this to her via text or on Discord? Because if it's a text and it wakes up, she's probably gonna be mad.
Real talk. Ever since I've been on medication for depression and have not been depressed, I wake up in the morning at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I don't oversleep. It's weird and fantastic because I get so much of my day back. So I've taken up gardening, and I have proof that I have touched grass.
My orange tree in my backyard is doing work because I've been taking care of that thing.
Yeah, my lemon tree needs a little bit of fertilizer, but if anybody wants to get some lemons.
Ooh, yes.
I will make so many lemon things once my lemon tree is, slightly taller than 5 feet.
I currently have 8. I counted. I have 8 oranges growing. They're all like maybe golf ball size right now, so they're very tiny. But I have 8 on there.
My God, you're doing it. Wait, Asriel, do you guys have any? Since you guys redid your house, anything growing in your backyard? I know Callie's been getting a little bit of rain. Yeah. Asriel.
Sometimes.
Sorry, it's that cat. I finished prepping dinner.
Oh, hey!
It has rained here
Yes.
in the past.
Is it raining by you right now, Christina? Because it's dark clouds, but it's not storming here. Yet.
It was thundering in the morning, and it rained somewhere, but not here. It was like rain proximity, and I was like, "Come, my backyard needs some water," and it did not. So sad, and it's not currently raining.
I planted a bunch of stuff, and then one of the outdoor kitties or some random DoorDash driver knocked 3 of them over, so...
What? I would be so mad.
I was very upset.
I have a couple plants that, over the winter we had a lot of rain, and then it got really cold, so a couple of my plants got root rot. So I had to dig them up, and like, one of my agave had fucking weevils, and I pulled him out of the ground, and like, there's these, probably 1.5 inch long, like ½ an inch wide, fat grubs eating all the roots of my agave, and I'm like, I made that noise and then proceeded to try and save my poor agave. He might make it. I have removed the affected parts, and I'm putting in some rooting hormone, and maybe he will grow roots again. But we are praying silently for his recovery. But same with one of my aloe plants, and yeah, desert plants. I thought I could just leave them alone and they would be fine, but turns out if the sky gives you too much water, the plants will die anyway.
Yeah, I had to move around my aloe plant until it decided it liked existing again.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, why won't this aloe, like, he looks so sad. And I dug him up, looked at his roots. I'm like, you're too wet? Really? That's your problem? All right. So we had to go back to changing up the dirt and making it drain and gardening noises. Etc. has a ton of kale. I have some like very small sprouts of like poppies and marigolds because I started doing this way too late. But they're coming.
Nice.
I'll send pictures when things start blooming, but I'm just excited that little sprouts are growing out of my garden, and I've got some pepper plants that are on their way, so maybe we'll have something spicy when I can convince everyone to come visit to play D&D. We'll have spicy margaritas, and apparently some sort of lemon apparatus. It is tomatoes. All right, everybody. It's D&D time. We have not had D&D for a couple of weeks, and I've missed everyone greatly. And I, too, have almost forgotten it was Monday. But I'm glad everybody's back. And let's do a brief recap on where everyone ended up after last session. Because we have a couple of things that I think you all were pursuing, as everyone seems to have their own storyline going, as the overarching narrative of Narcissa Soulblight hangs over your heads. Asriel, who brought back one of your small goblin companions from the dead, has now considered her resurrection a gift from the gods. Well, not gods, but Asriel in particular. And the goblin is now spending most of her days building a church to honor Asriel's name. Seeing that all of us have been playing Diablo 4 recently, and there's no way this could go wrong.
Of course not.
As Grabella struggles with her manifesting draconic aspects, her band of kobolds in her cave are, busily guarding her steadily growing dragon horde. And the more wealth Grabella will accumulate, the more power and influence she will gain over her, the kobolds of Maginox and the surrounding region. Oslo, meanwhile, with a lengthy debt to his name, having been or is currently, a criminal, and dabbles in the creation of explosives. When I say dabble, I mean it's like a life hobby, like you do it all the time, like you cannot stop. Is that okay? It's his addiction of making explosives. The transport of them has gone a little bit sideways, and the ships that have exploded in the wake of his explosive transport has left Kozlo with a wake of debts and angry people who own ships with giant cratering holes in the bottom of them. And turns out that's not a popular feature in boats.
Nope.
So Kozlo, after starting to make a name for him himself within Maginox, to clear your name, there's a couple things you can do. One is just blow up the entire Thieves Guild, which definitely happened. But Kozlo also had some debts that were outside of Maginox that he wanted them to be dealt with. And Lena Umbrellis, a ghost from House Umbrellis, has agreed to take care of them for Kozlo and has promised Kozlo a hat. Maybe someday Kozlo will get that hat. I don't know what day that's going to be. Probably not today. But as Kozlo continues to try and, clear his debts and not necessarily his name, with the cooperation of him and Seaswab, you are building quite the loyal criminal empire in Maginox. As you all have rescued a significant amount of criminals from Lavare, the Lava Island jail of hardened criminals. With all of these criminals now life indebted to you, they have gone in your name to provide services around the Maginox docks, which you have now taken over. With the elimination of the Thieves Guild and the insertion of all of your minions, it is apparent that Kozlo Greenfinger is now the one that owns the Maginox docks, which includes full knowledge of any ship coming and going. And the first thing that you have figured out is that a lot of ships have been very hesitant on coming back to Maginox in the wake of the city's unrest. And the merchants, who are supposed to be placing orders and talking with some of these shipwrights to deliver goods, are not interested unless they see some sort of stability happen within the city. As they wait for the coronation of their potential new king and queen, their shops have been kept mostly closed to purchases, and will only open for, influential figures. But if Kozlo gets control of the docks, and controls the safety of the ports, perhaps these merchants will change their mind. One influential merchant, the merchant Larix, wants some blooms from the Night Bloom Garden, and he says he can put in a good word with the rest of the merchants at the docks, if you do him a solid. Let's see, I believe with a Narcissa Soulblight, currently bound to her mirror, but her threat is, not immediate for now. It seems like her encounter with the Blood Hag left her somewhat drained. she has not been peeping in on your dreams or giving you derogatory comments. So that is where we are at with you four, as your influence throughout Maginox begins to grow, and your ideas for just what you are going to do after you get all of this influence and power, controlling the docks, potentially having a steady flow of money, and kobold minions. It is, well, a potential threat that even Kozlo, Seaswap, Grabella, and Asriel would be more influential than even one of the oldest houses of Maginox, just on goodwill alone. But will that be enough to keep control of the city? We'll see. We'll see. Let's return back to... I believe we left off at Kozlo's den.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought we had just had the bomb dropped on us about the possible monarchy. Yeah.
Catherine was basically a bootlicker the whole time.
Yeah, we just found out that Catherine Ravensblood is a big fan of the cops.
Yes. Okay. It's like, that is a really
I think
good...
we ended in that room that
you are in that room. That is correct.
It's like, yo, this is gonna be great, and we're like, what?
The thin blue line keeps Maginox clean.
Yes, Catherine, on your recent trip to let her know what you've seen, has told you that, well, the houses of Maginox that used to keep Maginox together, well, that social structure just really wasn't working anymore. And she gave you a little bit of history about Maginox and Polaris. That was founded by a reborn like yourself with a vision that creatures of the night that lived within the Shroud of Darkness could work together in a society that benefited all. And these creatures would not be painted as evil, but productive members of a society built around collaboration. And these houses that were in place during the founding of Maginox were representatives of these creatures of the night. And they all worked together in order to make sure that, well, everyone that dwelled within darkness had a say. Lucari Polaris, the former king of this region who ascended, before his ascension had bid that Polaris was to be governed by these houses, to be ruled in collaboration in his absence. And he did leave behind a wife, a Lara Lunesti, who was an influential figure within these Maginox courts. And it was her son that was set to be the next ruler of Maginox. Seemed like Alara did not have an interest in the courts anymore, or at least in how they currently functioned. And Catherine pointed out that there was demonic corruption that had tainted the House of Vampires. And Victoria Vicadus, who gave up a lot in search for power, too succumbed to the will of Tiamat. And so, Catherine, seemingly loyal to Alara Lunesti, followed her vision. The houses that were so influential could be corrupted by demons, infiltrated so easily. And so Alara wanted things to go back to a monarchy, a a single, infallible point of leadership. And perhaps something that would not be corrupted by the demonic presence so easily. But now, let's decide how you all will move forward with this newfound information, as Maginox will move away from the court-based system and back towards a more formal monarchy. One moment, please. Yeah, that is actually a very good place to get back into this. Right. One moment. You're back in the warm mansion of one vampire, Catherine Ravensblood. The former were-raven has been a very cordial host, and, well, recently she has dropped on you the bombshell that Alara wishes Maginox to go back to a king and queen based system. Straying away from the courts that were infiltrated by demons. Catherine seemingly agrees with Alara and has informed you of the, upcoming plan. But let's start there. As you all sit perhaps in shock, Catherine has just told you this interesting news. But your minds might be abuzz with questions. What did the other houses think? What sort of representation would people have at the table? Who were these people to be crowned king and queen of this region? And what authority did they have to do it? These questions and more might be going through your mind, but let's begin. Catherine looks at you expectantly.
Bella, you didn't say anything about you were going to be Queen of Maginox?
Yeah, she's not talking about me.
Oh.
Is there an opening for king? And if so, can I throw my name into the ring?
Oh my god.
That is very kind of you to consider, Seaswap, but no, there is already a king in mind.
I bet he's old and crotchety, has hair coming out of his ears.
Or it's a child.
Like Coslow, but not hot.
Unfortunately...
Cosmo just looks over like, thank you.
Oh my god.
It is neither. It is the son of King Lucari Polaris, once king to this entire region, not just Maginox.
You said he went away a long time ago, so his son would have to be really old.
Yeah, looks
He's
over at
12.
The one he took for a wife is Alara Lunesti. She is also, well, considered to be a vampire. She is a dream vampire, in fact. She does not age like... Well, she looks over at Coslow and Seaswab as the reborn she is talking to do not age. She chose to have a child much later on after Lucari had left this plane of existence.
Interesting.
Does that mean it's not actually the guy's kid, then?
It's like Al Pacino, where he just has a kid when he's like 100.
God damn it.
Well, we don't know how the gestation period of dream vampires works, Coslow.
How does the gestation period of dream vampires work?
Wait, I thought vampires just like bit people, and that's how more vampires were made. I didn't think vampires were actually like born, or it's like an egg situation.
Oh my god.
Is there a cloaca involved?
I am sorry for these questions.
No, those are, actually, quite good questions. A vampire like myself is unable to procreate within those means. Perhaps egg laying is completely out of my purview. Laura imagined her son into existence. It is hazy. She, after Polaris departed this world, Alara chose to remarry very, very later on. To a human, in fact. A clever artificer that came from the southern continent. They fell in love, and together they created a child.
But that still kind of goes back to the question, right? This ain't actually the king's kid.
This is true, but Alara could be considered a queen, and her son, potentially, in that line of lineage. But it depends on who you ask. Alara did not immediately decide to take up the mantle of queen in Lakari's absence and honored his wishes to keep the houses running Maginox and to keep those who dwelled in the darkness working together in collaboration. I do not believe he anticipated the incursion of demons into the houses.
And all the houses are...
You're okay with this guy though, right? Like you like him, you're cool with him being king?
That is...
No, this raises a valid point.
Inside check if she is not sure if she likes this guy or
not. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, inside check. Go ahead.
Hold on. My thing. Hold on.
Who is he? What's his name? What's he like? What does he look like? What does he smell like?
Right, does he have any games on his phone?
Did you say, does he have any games on his phone?
Oh my god.
She looks at you and glances back to the fire briefly. The way she shifts slightly in her chair seems to give you a sense of perhaps mild uncertainty to the vampire. But she does look at you, and when she answers, it is with confidence. Eris is a competent young man who can learn the ropes and be molded into his seat. He is wary of responsibility, merely of the burden that is placed upon him and the danger it brings to his family. He is, well, he is certainly known for bringing some small amount of chaos wherever he goes. And he has yet to show himself as a true and competent leader. But I trust in Alara's judgment, and I trust in those around him to guide him. I do not believe the monarchy should sit entirely on the shoulders of one person alone. He can be guided by those that are trustworthy, that have the best wishes for Maginox in mind. What is important is that the people of Maginox feel like their city is safe and under the rule of a confident leader that will ensure that the creatures that dwell in the deep dark, the ones that do not wish to collaborate, remain outside the city wall.
So does that mean the position of queen is available? As Azrael nudges Grabella forward ever so slightly.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, Grabella, as I feel you would be a strong candidate.
It's okay.
The recent mercenaries, as they have been referred to, that have gone through the city and have purged it of the demonic corruption, are starting to be hailed around the common folk as heroes.
So definitely like side eyes Coslo and Grabella and Azrael like, are we heroes?
No, unequivocally not.
We're
One of
like
them
the good
is
guys controlling all the bad things.
one of these mercenaries is an elven noble from the southern continent. Eris has asked for her hand in marriage.
Oh, missed opportunity then.
And all of the houses and everybody are just prepared to go along with this? Or is this a hope?
She thinks for a moment before answering. It is important going forward that we do whatever we can to make Maginox a stable place, and a place where those that wish to live an honest life can do so.
And there's nothing more stable than completely overthrowing and instituting a new government.
Oh dear.
Are you proposing overthrowing the government and instituting a new one, or like, are you referencing the fact that that just happened, Coslo?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of sounds like that's what the plan is, yeah? Out with the old and with the new, which is also the old.
But the old was failing and led to greed, corruption, happenings within the city that had darker connotations. Those that decided to barter and trade with the selling of body parts, just like Duke Talus did. And even you had put a stop to some of those distasteful dealings. And now that there are no more of those darker back alley deals, we can go back to honest commerce, skills honed by time, those that wish to live in prosperity and harmony and build a society can do so. People will see, with a little help and a little prodding, a good word here and there, they will see that the old ways were not working. They were full of greed, corruption, death, and distasteful dealings, while you, Coslo, and your friends here can guide it in a more positive direction. I believe you do have what it takes to keep things organized.
That's me, the most organized you'll ever meet.
She smirks. As with most things, it might take a little bit of power to show that, well, your views are strong enough, and that no one will well, mess with you. That's what you want, right? Power, influence, control over the darks.
I mean, yeah, but we also want to see things go to the right people. And for people that are of, well, not renowned or quote-unquote, bringing up the little guys too. They deserve to have good lives.
If it is your simple wish to control something in order for you to live a life of quiet and peace in Maginox, that is something we want too. But life can be so much more than that. I believe we are at the start of a flourishing relationship. You have almost everything that you need in order to keep the Maginox docks running, to keep the goods flowing, and to keep the merchants happy. They'll believe you, as you have shown yourself and your friends to be competent. And you're just what Maginox needs. And so I feel like it is also in our best interest that we work together.
But what does the king and queen think of unionized zombie labor?
Unionized zombie labor.
Mm-hmm. We got really close to founding a zombie union previously, and it seems like a worthwhile cause.
Oh, who speaks for this troop? Who is their mouthpiece?
Mr. Ticklefingers!
Well, no, that's kind of the whole part of collective bargaining, is they all speak for themselves. They elect a representative, or representatives, and determine their, fair compensation and restrictions and requirements related to their labor.
We call him Jimmy Hoffa.
There are, some tenets that are followed within Maginox. She looks at Azrael a bit uneasy, as the feral undead do not have minds of their own. They are not bound, nor can they participate in the laws of Maginox. Thus, their union would be void. They cannot speak, and thus have no desires, and cannot speak for themselves.
Well, that sounds awfully reductive of you, Catherine.
What?
How do you know they don't have thoughts and desires? Have you ever had a conversation with a zombie before?
What? No. How? Why would I want to do that?
Because they're whole former persons, obviously.
No, I am a former person. That is a corpse.
Well, now you're being offensive.
She's
You can see where,
Honestly, everything coming out of your mouth right now is a little problematic.
They need to be put back into the ground where they belong.
Okay, now we're canceling Catherine Ravensblood.
Listen, I didn't want to be the first one to say something, but you kept saying a life worth living, a life worth living. Pretty easy to say when you're immortal. Just putting that out there. Not everybody in this room is immortal. I feel a little, targeted.
It was one. Lacori Polaris fought an entire legion of feral undead in order to found Maginox, not to bring them back within its walls.
Yeah, but there are plenty of people that would say the same thing about you and being in the ground and stuff. Am I wrong?
There are many different types of those that do not live, that reside within Maginox, of various types and flavors, but those that cannot abide by rules and laws and regulation of Maginox cannot participate. That goes for zombies and undead, even spirits even, those that have lost all rational thought and are all consumed by emotion.
So what I'm hearing is if the zombies founded a union, that would be sufficient proof of their sentience, and thus they would be permitted under the normal laws of Maginox.
I suppose, but then they would merely just be reborn, like...
Checkmate, monarchists.
Azrael is very passionate about his work with the undead.
The fact that Azrael can sit here and have this conversation with me is one of the deciding differences between Azrael and what we consider feral.
Oh, yeah, definitely for sure. But,
It's a bold pronouncement.
It's true.
I don't know. Some of this gets a little bit, complicated.
Well, I would only choose certain undead at my table, and those that wish to eat my face are not welcome.
But wouldn't you like to eat
What about your
other
ass?
people at your table who aren't undead?
Say swap!
Sorry.
Not my ass either. Sorry, Azrael, what was that? I was way too distracted by C-Swab.
No, it's fine. It was a good quip. Well, what about like the fairies that you like to eat? Are they not welcome at your table, or are you not welcome at their table? This is all getting really confusing now.
What he's saying is, where do you actually draw the line? Where do you actually draw the line?
Catherine
If we
turns
draw
a
the
slightly
line at-
darker shade of purple.
If we draw the line at like not sharing space with people we want to eat, that's kind of problematic, right?
My feeding habits are entirely consensual, I'll have you know.
Well, but can you speak for all vampires in Maginox?
Actually, she tilts her head. With the abdication of Victoria Vicadus, I can.
Oh.
I am her closest unliving progeny.
I don't really understand what that means, but like there were vampires that wanted to eat people and murder people until like a few weeks ago, as I understand it. And that's why your assassins did what they did?
They are not assassins, but...
Well, mercenaries sounds way less cool if we're being honest.
And it wasn't necessarily the... Well, it didn't start as outright murder. It mostly started from the buying and selling of body parts on a black market.
Well,
And then
Duke
went
was
in-
definitely into murder.
Yes, it seemed like he escalated things. And that's not what we use Maginox for. It is not a trap to lure in the unaware. It is a place where those who want to spend time in darkness can feel safe.
But only some people who want to spend time in darkness and want to feel safe.
Those that wish to abide by our rules and laws, yes.
Oh dear.
Gravella just knows that this is a new mission for Azrael.
You didn't really answer the question about whether other people are on board, though.
While I have quite an influential status within the vampires of Maginox, with the death of Victoria Vicadus, there will be unrest. There will be other vampires potentially trying to vie for her seat. I am notoriously hard to catch. So I'm not worried about myself, nor the company that I keep. We tend to take flight at first signs of trouble. But as for all the vampires of Maginox, no. But they will see these assassins, these mercenaries. They were able to kill Victoria Vicadus. Certainly, they would be able to kill them. And thus, even though fear is being utilized, it is, well, a way to control some of the vampires rather than attempt to convince them by force.
No, I was talking about the other houses in the monarchy, but this is also good information.
The Umbrellans also have a more sacred duty in the housing structure, and their presence within Maginox is somewhat of a formality. They ride they cross between the walls, between worlds, residing in both Maginox and its spiritual reflection. Their say in the physical matters of the city, they care little for it, as they do not spend a lot of time manifested in this realm. But spirits reborn that have unfortunately come back without a strong physical body, a physical presence, are still full of thought and emotion, and have a say at what goes on in the physical realm, as it does affect the world they live in, though at a slower pace. The Umbrellans and their duty keeps them more or less bound to the current structure of Maginox, whatever that may be. Monarchy, house, it matters little. It is not like, well, we can merely step into the ethereal so easily as an Umbrellan. They will be on board. They will be on board, but more or less ambivalent to the decision. There are houses that were once more influential, like the houses of the Dark Fae, the Unseelie. Unfortunately, through Victoria's distasteful actions, the Fae have left Maginox, and with it, their feelings and inspiring acts of beauty and imagination, and has left a noticeable hole in Maginox. And we believe with the presence of a court-bound Fae, as Queen of Maginox, of course, will turn that tide more favorably, and we can have the Unseelie once again join Maginox and join our people and bring their mirth into the world.
So wait, if the Umbrellans kinda don't matter, the Vicadans aren't really a thing, the Fae aren't really a thing, and the Hamachis or whatever, they're not really a thing anymore either. Who else is left?
Exactly. The houses are scattered. There are no pockets of loyalty. They are going to be looking for leadership, for direction, for someone, something to trust. And Catherine points a finger at you. And you have come at just the right time.
That's what she said.
Can't you figure out so, please?
They need people like you to show that they are willing to put Maginox back into its rightful state of prosperity. You have a natural charisma about you, Coslow. And you have all shown yourselves to be competent survivors. You could potentially have a great and fanciful place in Maginox. But we need to know if you are going to be on our side.
Grabella kind of looks at the rest of y'all.
This is very important, Oslo. As Maginox moves back into a central form of leadership, we are all going to need to support it. Dissidents will not be tolerated. And once we share a similar voice and vision, we can see Maginox naturally return to prosperity through the work and effort of those that wish to reside here, and those that hold or held influential places before can ensure that those, like you, Coslow, and the rest of your goblinoid brethren, will always have a safe and warm place to be in this treacherous Arctic land. So what say you?
Coslow kind of looks either lost in thought or like he's having some sort of gastronomical issue. They look the same.
That's the
on
same face for me too.
He's either thinking really hard or trying very hard not to take a shit.
Just Coslow, huh?
Please
yes.
Don't burst a vessel.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to know who I'm working for and get a feel for them in person before I completely sign on to anything.
Oh, yeah, can we meet the king?
I believe the king to be is currently indisposed.
Oh, so a prince.
Yes, the coronation hasn't happened yet formally, so it'd be inappropriate to call him a king.
Can we get invites to the coronation and we're all going to need +1s?
Of course. Of course. I can absolutely see to that, Sea-Swab. In fact, we could give you some sort of VIP. Personal invite from the Ravensbloods.
Can I give a speech at the coronation?
Please, why?
And what would you speak of, Sea-Swab? The high seas?
Low tides, but yeah, whatever. I don't really like the high seas. It's not really my thing. Like, yeah, that's a part of me, but, you know.
Well, not only if things do return to normal at the docks, that not only would you be indirectly supplying this coronation, but we want it to be a party. We want Maginox to come together and celebrate. And hopefully with some of these supplies from inactive houses will be used for such.
Can we get the king to record a soundbite saying Kozlo's Den is the best tavern in the city?
Like, can he make a cameo appearance?
Oh, you wish for him to grace your establishment?
Ooh, like a lunch date.
I don't see why not. We couldn't possibly make it an entire promotional thing.
Are there any pardons available for purchase, just preemptively?
What?
No, but I like where you're going with that. It seems like you're
listen,
receptive.
I've been a part of this group for I don't know how long time has passed. We'll just say a couple months. I've been in this group for a couple months, and high chance we may need some pardons.
We need some what?
Like pardons.
Pardon.
Oh, God.
You act like we haven't killed a lot of people.
No, definitely nothing like that has occurred.
Only people that deserved it, T-Swab.
Yeah.
This is one of the problems, Kozlo. As the houses have crumbled, those that are lost and don't know what to do have lost employment, and their potential lives some of them are turning towards, well, the others that in Maginox, like the merchants, to steal from. We don't want the unrest in the houses to continue. But we need to be strong enough to show that those that wish to harm the residents of Maginox are not welcome here. And you all have the brains and the muscle to show our merchants that they are safe and their goods will be protected, and it will be a celebration worth fighting for.
Kozlo kind of nods along a little bit as she's talking.
Well, on and off subject, we need to go check on our,
Oh God, what is the name of the people that are in the lava land?
The Vakis?
Somebody help.
In Vicaris?
We are to go check on our friends down in Vicaris. Probably only got a week left, but they're trying to figure out the safest and smartest way to restructure those. The word of what has happened has not fully gotten out as you were hoping, but everybody's definitely on edge about how to handle it.
That is understandable.
Our friends are seeing to it to be the smoothest that it could possibly be.
What have you told them so far?
Well, my lady friend Charlinda, they went down there to tell him about stuff. She couldn't quite figure out how to tell him herself, which is understandable, all things considered. So we delivered the news to the Seismomancer lady and what's Big Booba Fire Lady's name? I never remember.
It's Paya. It's Paya.
Paya is getting things in order.
I don't know the gutter, Grabella, jeez.
Well, it's what everybody else calls her. But they're trying to bring things in-house in the best way without things going sideways.
That is more so complicated. More so than Maginox. Their leader has been dead and their people misled for some time.
And
perhaps a more precarious position than even here.
Yeah.
And yet, maybe it's an opportunity, huh?
That's why I like you, Kozlo. You see opportunity everywhere.
And that is definitely was brought up, that perhaps this could be a way to bring communities together instead of the wrong thing getting it out and everything being further divided. But,
It would behoove the Vaki people to not be so secluded in their underground dens, and to come back and rejoin Maginox.
do you think our potential Prince Queen situation might, have an audience for him?
If you told me if I was a random guy, right? And you told me, hey, by the way, your king's not really been your king for the last couple centuries. Anyway, here's a new king. I'd probably shoot you in the face.
She nods.
Which is why, like, a dinner and a conversation and, hey, we could help each other out and everybody can retain their...
I don't even think tacos could save that situation.
Well...
And the problem is that now no one speaks for the Vaki people. True, they have influential figures that reside on that plane, like you mentioned, this elemental Peya and some of the brighter teachers from the Obsidian Halls. But even then, Peya is merely an emissary. She is not Vaki. She is an elemental. The Vaki are going to need something or someone to at least show them that they need to be led in the right direction. But I don't even know who that would be. My
They're gonna have to figure out their own leadership, but we could at least offer them, a little helping hand that they'll remember when it comes time to figure out how they're gonna have future relations with us up top.
Yeah, that's my thought that Kazo articulated with more words than I have.
Then perhaps they are due for a visit, but with you as more formal emissaries.
I mean, I like it down there. There's some good people. Obviously, that's where I met my lady friend.
Oslo is right. There is opportunity here. And not just...
Rebella, right? You should propose at the coronation.
Oh my god. Whoa. We have not had conversations about those sorts of things.
Yeah, but I mean, how many coronations are you going to see in your life where you can, like, totally steal the spell? It'd be great.
I know, that would be the opposite of the polite thing to do.
Rebella just kind of buries her head in her hands.
Kozlo,
Her weird, faceless head.
Do you think there would be any chance to convince the Vaki people to be receptive to returning to Maginox?
Well, they are probably going to be terrified because there's definitely horrifying oil sludge undead monster things that is looking to infect everything down there.
Yeah, that's the current thing you're working through.
Then perhaps it is necessary for them to leave Vakaris. She looks up at you all.
That's gonna be a hard sell, I think.
I mean, I don't know. People tend to run away from things that are looking to infect their brain and take over their bodies.
Yeah.
Some of them will. But then
Perhaps.
sometimes you tell someone all they gotta do to not die is put a little piece of cloth over their face, and they refuse to do it.
Ouch.
But with their leader dead and potentially this oil sliding around under Vakaris, the combination of the two pieces of information could throw them into a sheer panic. We don't want this. We don't want people to be hurt.
Maybe we offer some sort of, well, I mean, we've helped him before, and I don't mind helping him again. But some sort of assurance that they will have help through whatever decisions they do make, and that the door is open for them to have refuge and or help or come into the fold of, That way it's like an invitation, not a, hey, do this or you're really fucked. Even though it's kind of that's what the situation is.
Was there anyone while you were down there that you feel like at least would present this option to the people in a way that was palatable?
Miss Paya is very smart, and
God, what is this Ice Mancer's lady? I can only remember that she's got worms on her head.
It's Annalie.
Annalie is very intelligent about the going-ons of nature and earth and everything down there, so she could relay the severity of what they may or may not need, and maybe that's how we get in the front door, so to speak.
And these are gonna be people looking for structure. And what's more structure than a school, eh?
That is true. And the teachers having a positive attitude about this could tell the students, who would tell their families. No, this is good.
We did kind of save all of them for being on drugs 24/7.
And this is a long-term fixture with the people down there, eh? So they're gonna trust it more than someone just showing up out of nowhere.
Also true.
Yeah.
The only problem is, well, not only would they be leaving behind their city again after their first bit of destruction, the Vaki people are certainly no strangers to tragedy. And they would need to be well taken care of if they were to choose to come here. But there are always going to be those that remain. Something would need to be done for them.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is the first thing for your little, and I don't mean this in a belittling way, your king and queen to, well, show their, open arms and perhaps, I don't know, make stuff work.
Catherine looks at the fire for a long time. No, I think you're going to have to retrieve the obliteratus. He looks at Grabella.
We don't know how to do that, though. What, did you not remember that, like, the guy is dead?
He nods. But what of Narcissa? The Umbrellans are quite upset at her presence.
Yeah, they've been offering us stuff left and right to take care of that problem, but after I'm gonna toss this one your way.
Oh, I mean, we can't get there unless we can find the remains of the Regent Lord. Because we need his blood or something?
As there was a pact between the Vaki royalty and Maginox that would seal away that reborn destroying hammer.
But I don't know that Narcissa is an imminent threat right now. The Blood Hag kind of took a lot out of her.
That is good to know. But I do think the Vaki once followed their leader, who wielded the obliteratus, down into under Maginox to escape the presence of the feral undead, and to utilize the power of the fire elementals to protect themselves and to build a new society. They are indebted to the fire elementals, but that Maze certainly wields a significant amount of power. They would most certainly listen to one that was strong enough to wield it. That would be a surefire way to get those Vaki to potentially come back to Maginox.
So, who would that be?
She looks at Grabella.
What? Eh?
Oh, so we're back to making Grabella queen? Okay, I like this plan.
Wait, no, I'm actually confused. What?
Catherine shrugs. Or you can set up a different Vaki to wield the Obliteratus if they were looking for a strong leader. I'm just saying. You want to get all the Vaki to listen to someone at once. You open up their vault and you take their most powerful weapon.
That still doesn't address the whole opening up the vault thing, though.
So you need the blood.
Just scratches her head.
You need the blood of Vaki royalty.
Unless there's like an illegitimate child somewhere hiding around. There's always an illegitimate child running around of the nobility somewhere.
Grabella,
And I don't know if they've found out who I have within my being that they would be too excited about me being anything like that for them.
One moment, please.
Maybe Kozlo's the long-lost son of the Regent Lord.
Oh my god.
Kozlo blinks one eyeball at a time.
Oh no, cutscene! Everything's going fuzzy.
For everybody, you all feel a strange sense of, like, vertigo. And then it stops. Catherine is looking at the fire. Doesn't seem to notice it. It is lurching. It's like the feeling of you falling asleep, but then suddenly lurching awake on the airplane and then looking around to make sure that nobody saw you do that awkward thing, but somebody definitely heard you go, and now you feel weird.
What in the heck?
Everybody can make me a perception or arcana check. Whatever is higher.
Neither.
C-Swab uses dagger on self.
No, the little normal drop down on the top left isn't there for me, and I had to open my character sheet, but then the pop out character sheet isn't there anymore either. So I have to
My pop out came up, but I also have the same tool thing not being there.
Yeah, I don't see pop
weird.
out for my character sheet.
Is that maybe part of the module that got scrapped?
Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, it might not pop out right now. Sorry about that. Some of the modules in the update were
I might have misclicked when I was trying to find my checks there.
Oh good. Oh good. C-Swab, you notice something is off or strange. There is a very heavy feeling. You start to feel sluggish, as if you're slowly sinking or falling asleep, or like something is smothering you. It is very unnerving.
Anybody else feel tired?
Yeah, sometimes feels a little weird.
I feel funny, but not tired. I don't get tired.
Well, heavy?
What do you mean, C-Swab?
I don't feel good.
A darkness starts to fall over all of you.
Oh dear.
And Catherine disappears.
No! We've been on a reality TV show the whole time.
Well, one moment, please.
God, she gives birds such a bad name.
All of you feel the sensation of sleep, and for a couple of you, it's unnerving. A sense that you have not felt in some time. Just darkness. Pinpoints of light floating around you. You feel like you're suspended in the darkness of space, floating in nothingness. And for Kozlo and Seaswab, you see perhaps your own errant thoughts, random things you've done throughout the day, things you were thinking about, flitting through your mind. And the sense of overwhelming exhaustion falls over all of you. For the Reborn, this is very strange. But for Seaswab and Kozlo, it is hard for you to even keep your eyes open. As suddenly, the space grows very cold. There is a knock.
Who is it?
And it begins to draw you out of the darkness. The flickering light of the fire has long died. Kozlo, I'll say Kozlo and Seaswab, you are the first to wake up and you hear a knocking at the door behind you.
Who is it?
You both wake up. You are in House Ravensblood. The last thing you remember, you were talking with Catherine. And things seem to be going fine.
And then we got sleepy, and then she disappeared.
The wrapping is soft, but a little more insistent.
Good. Wake them up.
Kozlo will come over and start trying to wake up Grabella and Azrael, which the way that he knows how to do that is just to kind of slap them around a little bit.
I want to open the door, but I only want to open it a little bit, like you're checking to see who's at the door, but the little chain thing is still attached to
it. You can open the door.
Ah!
Hello, Seaswab.
Catherine?
I'm sorry I left you all here for so long. My meeting went long. Are you alright?
Am I alright? I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either. She blinks at you. Can I come in?
Casa, what's the rule about vampires asking to come in?
We're already in her house.
This
Yeah. You can
This
come
is
in.
my house, Sea Swamp.
Listen, I don't know. The way you asked it was weird. Okay, you put me on the spot. I don't know if it's like a subsection of a room within a house. Listen, come on in, Catherine. All right.
What?
You can come in either way.
I don't know the rules of vampires. Okay.
Catherine, what's going on?
What do you mean?
We were just talking to you and having a big long conversation, and then everybody got real sleepy and you disappeared, and now it's like we never had that conversation.
I'm sorry, I have been in a meeting. The fire's gone out. Perhaps are you cold? Sick? She puts a cold hand on your head. Her hand feels colder, because she is dead.
I don't know how that's gonna help.
What happens?
Oslo is like, while he's talking, still trying to wake up Azrael and Grabella.
Azrael and Grabella, you groggily wake up, but it is like you blinked, and suddenly the room is dark. Catherine is in a different place. The room is somewhat cold.
What in the world?
I'm sorry, what happened? Kozlo, why are you hovering over me?
Because you were asleep. We were all asleep.
That's preposterous. I don't sleep.
Okay, well, you were kind of like you were asleep.
Well, forgive my ravens for letting the fire go out. She snaps her fingers and...
Do we all
roaring
remember
flames.
what happened?
You remember everything as exactly as it happened.
I'm sorry, Catherine, are we not concerned about you coming? You weren't here before? Talking to us?
Yes, I was in the other room having a bit of a discussion with some of my were-raven compatriots. I was told that you would wait. She pulls up a chair and sits down.
Yeah, we did that. And then we told you all the things we came over here to tell you. And then we had a whole different conversation, which is probably not worth getting into right now until we figure this out. And
Kozlo kind of looks around to the other people in the room as he says, not worth getting into right now.
And, then we all I felt friggin' weird for a minute. It looked like everyone else was kind of doing the same. And then I woke up and it was like that conversation we had never happened.
He goes back over to his chair.
Catherine stands up, and she immediately starts looking around the room. Her eyes are scanning the room, narrowing slightly.
You got someone or something that would mess with you and us trying to give you, well, what I assume is, important information.
You all are full of information. But to be so bold as to come into my home.
You gave us an awful lot of information about the monarchy and also promised us an invite to the coronation. I assume that that's still valid.
With a +1.
Right. With a +1, and Seesaw gets to make a speech.
I changed my mind. I don't want to give a speech. I don't have anything to talk about, so.
Does she look angry or upset?
Who has the skull?
Azrael does.
Yes.
Azrael, there is noticeable frost on the satchel that is holding Narcissus' skull.
Oh dear.
Can I make a perception check? Does this Catherine look legit?
Go ahead.
There it is. Haha.
Rebella, Seaswab, and Cosmo, you can all roll perception for me as well.
Is it weird I didn't see Azrael's perception check? Like, I saw it in the sidebar, but I didn't see it, like, the dice roll.
Just lag.
I am very confused.
It looks like Catherine. You don't see anything really off about her, aside from the fact that she now looks very concerned.
Does she look concerned at us or concerned at the room as she's walking around?
Concerned at the room. As she is looking around, the colored parts of her eye, the iris, begins to flare up with a magical light.
Does it smell like Catherine? And by that I mean, if you've been around a bunch of birds, you know that birds stink.
You are too far away to smell Catherine.
She's not wearing like, any perfume or anything? I don't know.
She is a vampire and currently is not wearing any sort of odor. She probably smells like dusty wardrobe and bird feathers.
An old dead person.
She's not rotting, she's just dead. What was the last thing you remember? You don't have to be specific. Just, where was I sitting?
You were in that chair over there. We were talking about what's going on with Devaki and how they're probably going to be looking for a whole bunch of new leaders. And we were talking about that whole thing with the
union of zombies?
Well, that was a while ago. We were talking about the whole thing with that hammer or whatever it is we were supposed to get. And now we can't get that no more because what's his name is, he's not around no more.
And you informed us that there was a monarchy of some variety that is happening.
All of this information is accurate. She
Do you
keeps looking
remember
around the
this
room.
conversation?
No, so we did not have it.
We just been talking about maybe there was some kind of, in fact, Azrael said something about like, is there some illegitimate child of the Regent Lord guy around somewhere? Because there's always some sort of illegitimate child when it comes to this sort of thing. And then we went to sleep.
But we weren't like tired. We were forced to sleep.
Yeah, me and Azrael don't even sleep.
Also, Narcissa's skull is very frosty right now.
That is very concerning.
Which makes me wonder if you're even the real Catherine Ravensblood now. Prove it. Tell us something that only the real Catherine Ravensblood would know.
How do you feel about cops?
Oh my god.
What do you mean, like, guards? We didn't really care for the Hamaki guards. They were a little too stuffy for my tastes, but...
Kaza just peers at her very closely.
It is apparent that something or someone wants our information. But there is residual magical energy. And why go so far to create a facsimile when they could have just sat and waited? He looks down at the frosty bag.
You did a whole lot of talking. Well, the other you, which might have been the real one, might have been the fake one. I think the jury's still out on that, but you did a whole lot of talking about how there was demon corruption, or having only one person in charge would make it less likely for demon corruption to be a thing, which didn't make any sense to me, but I think maybe it might have been something like that.
You also seem to know an awful lot about the current monarchy situation, which seems kind of weird for Narcissa to just magically know. Quick, who's the king and queen, or future king and queen?
What the future king and queen of Maginox?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Literally no other place matters in this entire world.
Catherine actually looks a little bit stunned, but she says, "It is planned to be Eris Lunesti and his bride to be Rain Silversong."
That's what other you said too.
She just looks at the skull and back up at everyone.
Which, if you were Narcissa in disguise, you would know all that already because you were part of the previous conversation.
Catherine looks like she's thinking for a moment.
Look, I'm just trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
Was there anybody that Narcissa was scared of?
I mean, she doesn't want us to get the obliteratus, which is what we were just in theory talking about.
And the other Catherine did insist that we should go get the obliteratus.
Catherine lifts her eyebrow. I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, it did seem a little off.
What a terrible
But why would
idea.
Narcissa want us to go get it?
Well, why would... Of course she would want us to get the only thing that could destroy her, so that she could pretend to be Catherine and steal it from us!
Maybe she was trying to figure out how we were gonna do it. What with the other guy out of the way?
You know what? That's actually a valid point. I don't think either of them would want the obliteratus found, at least of all by us.
So, she wants to find a way to open the vault.
She was very insistent that the solve to all the problems was opening the vault, which again didn't make a lot of sense.
What if you guys are thinking about this the wrong way? What if Narcissa really isn't that bad, and she wants the vault open so she can get the new king and queen a really nice coronation gift, but she wants it to be a surprise?
Oh, that's a good point, C-Swab. Well, actually, you know what? The whole getting into the vault is actually a pretty simple solve if Narcissa wants in. The last of the blood from the blood hag, she froze in her realm, so we couldn't get to it. So if she wanted us to get access, it's right there. She could give it to us. Right? Isn't that how that works? We have everything else we need.
That was her theory, yeah.
Yes, but if she gives you that, then you have access to the vault and the obliteratus, and she has nothing. So she needs something. We need something from you before we open that vault.
Would she have known how we was gonna get in there in the first place, or maybe she was just pumping us for info?
Hey, there wasn't really a whole lot that we knew that Narcissa didn't know. And probably is kind of still the case. We are kind of carrying her skull around with us.
Wait, did she listen through that?
Well, sometimes. Sometimes she listens through Grabella.
Hey, asshole! What the hell are you doing?
Kozlo just yells at, like, Azrael's satchel.
There is no answer from the frozen bag.
I thought we had some sort of...
So C-Swab's gonna just start trying to, like, make statements that have been made before, but in a clearly fishing for maybe a different response from this Catherine to kind of get a gauge. Like, he's just gonna be repeating, like, common phrases that were said that we talked about that, like, maybe if this was a different Catherine, would have a different reaction.
So you also definitely know she had a much different reaction when you mentioned opening the vault.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ones that I was expecting a different reaction from was early in the conversation, which was, yeah, I mean, how do you feel about, that whole trying to get blackmailed for drinking all that pixie blood, huh?
Well, everything I am doing is entirely consensual, C-Swab, and my personal activities shouldn't concern you.
Well, they don't concern us, but, letters were going out, making it sound pretty bad, like you had a little addiction.
I don't think this Catherine may have been there for that conversation. I think we were telling the old Catherine about all that.
Yeah, we ended up killing that little piece of shit.
Gribella's getting agitated again.
Oh, no.
Catherine puts just a comforting hand on your shoulder, like, pat. It's okay. Okay, Grixis won't harm you anymore.
No, it's because he's a pile of mush that we fed to his spider.
He never, to be fair, he never harmed Gribella. Gribella harmed him gravely.
Wait a minute. I don't think we ever mentioned the name Brixis.
No, we definitely did.
No, we
Not
did.
To this Catherine, we didn't!
Catherine.
Oh.
Gribella's just staring.
Basil stares at her
there's their
very
eyes.
closely.
Can I check? Yeah, the whole Brixis thing, that was a good catch, because I didn't catch that.
That was like our pre-Catherine conversation, I think, before this episode break.
Yeah.
When we caught her.
It was. Yeah, that was all before.
But also, it has been like 2 weeks since that 3 weeks since that conversation took place.
I know it's been a really long time.
You guys don't spend all your time thinking about the conversations in between Mondays? Because that's all I do.
I was.
Oh, I only
thinking
relive
about...
conversations that I had with completely random people 15 years ago.
The only reason I know we didn't mention we mentioned Brixis previously because this is the only opportunity that we've actually seen Catherine since we saw Brixis. So.
Well, because the timeline was like, what? We killed Brixis, we killed the spider after we fed it Brixis' body, and then we came straight here, I believe, right?
No, we went back to our bar. We did stuff about the cult and everything, and then we came here.
Yeah.
And then we met her in this room. But it also could have just been like a total slip up. I don't know.
I'm over like 95% certain. I'm 95% certain that that Brixis was mentioned in the previous Catherine, but not with this Catherine.
We had never mentioned Brixis to.
She's gone.
Catherine disappears.
Narcissa.
Oh, sneaky!
Damn you!
Oh, you.
You're getting sloppy, old lady.
One moment, please.
Drug alarm.
You got sloppy.
The music changed.
I'm very. The not being able to pop out my character sheet is very aggravating.
She's not wrong though. Still, even though it's the wrong one, Brixis is an asshole.
Yeah, no, honestly, every conversation Azrael's had with Narcissa, she's been pretty legit, to be honest, guys.
That's why I was very confused about.
I think she just needs a better PR team, honestly. For starters, she definitely needs better intro music. This is kind of a downer. Of course, everybody's gonna think you're evil if you roll up with this playing, right?
I mean, if she just signs the union contract with her writers, it'd probably be a lot better.
Yeah. Get a little bit of better branding, put a little into that marketing budget.
Narcissa seems to curse at you as you have caught her in her illusion or trap. As her slip up with Brixis dispels the illusion, Catherine is glancing at the familiar fire. One moment, please.
Is there any way I get a sense, or I can detect that type of magic, so that if I can experience it again, I would recognize it?
You definitely will be able to now. Catherine glances back at the fire and back at you all and sighs. I know this is a very complicated situation.
Azrael just pokes Catherine right in the forehead, quizzically.
She, her eyes kind of cross as she looks up at Azrael's finger. Yes.
Azrael narrows their eyes.
Seaswap definitely looks at Narcissa's bag to see how frosty it is.
There's no frost. There's no frost on the bag.
Azrael pokes Catherine in the shoulder.
Oh, God.
You're not a lich, are you?
No, I believe technically my kind are called vampire.
If you're a lich, you have to say you're a lich. That's the rule.
Where did this come from? Did I do something
If you're not,
wrong?
that's entrapment, and you can't do anything to us.
What was the last thing you remember talking about, Catherine?
We were talking about Eris and Alara. We were discussing the Vaki and their complicated situation.
And you didn't start demanding that we go get the obliteratus, yeah?
What? No, we don't have any way to open the vault.
Well, that just confuses everything even more.
No, I think Narcissus is effing with us, guys.
What's
Can't
wrong?
we just throw her head in the bottom of a lake or something?
No, Lena said we couldn't do that, Sea-Swab.
Then it would just become somebody else's problem. So
Exactly! It's somebody else's
whatever.
problem.
There's still a pact to keep the obliteratus locked up in said vault, and well, that would also put a strain on our relationship between us and the Umbrellans, and we definitely don't want that.
No, our little hitchhiker showed up and tried to, interject herself into the conversation, and she was posing as you. And I'm still not entirely sure that you're not just her trying to do it again. Say something quick that only Catherine would know.
What?
I think the problem is you carry that around with you all the time now, Israel.
I mean, it's better than you carrying it around all the time, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not arguing that part.
I mean, we could, I suppose, tie a string to it or whatever and drag it around behind us so it, stays at, 50 feet or something at all times.
Catherine, makes, a noise in her throat that sounds like... Seaswab, you understand what she's saying. She's saying something in some sort of, Kenku-type, language of clicks and squawks. And she just says, Ezra's being very strange.
This is the real Catherine, because I'm kind of sure 50-50 that Narcissa would know Kenku.
It does sound like a decent point.
All right, but I'm on to you, maybe not Catherine.
That would make, well, at the very least, I don't believe she knows our language. Though
It'd
I'm
be
sure
impressive if she did.
I'm trying to think of something I could ask in Kenku that Catherine would know that Narcissa might not know. But
so it seemed like she was manifesting some sort of different reaction in order to get a different bit of information.
Well, we were here. I'm gonna say it in Kenku, so the rest of the party can't understand it. Alright, so we were here, and then it started to feel really heavy. And then Azure and Grabella were asleep, which they don't sleep. And then you knocked on the door to come in.
Catherine thinks...
You said you were in meetings.
I was. She's thinking.
She was, genuinely in a meeting when we got here.
Yeah.
Interesting. If it seems like Narcissa wants a way to open the vault. I'm sorry, Narcissa.
Is Catherine saying this in Kenku or in all talk?
She says it in Kenku.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
She's not going to get the blessing of Maginox to do this sea swab, though she desires a way. The Umbrellans, well, don't want that open. That is for certain. They need something from the Vaki.
What is her getting? Oh God.
Oh my God!
Azriel, do you mind stepping into the hallway with, your friend?
I mean, no. But also, it's not like she doesn't know absolutely everything you say anyway. She's still kind of in your brain, Grabella.
It is true.
Yes, that's true.
Narcissa's only threat right now is the Obliteratus. She, most assuredly, wants to control it. Having it locked away while, well, you all seek to destroy her skull, she thinks.
But, in Kenku still, by the way, but if we weren't going to go for it anytime soon, why would she want the risk of something going wrong and us being able to destroy her with the Obliteratus?
She's thinking. She keeps thinking. I need all of you to make a history check.
You know what? We'll throw knowledge from a past life just for fun.
Oh
yeah, I was gonna use that, but then I did that, so.
It's still only a 19.
Yeah, but it's a crit for Gravella. That's for fucking weird.
Holy shit!
I would roll the lowest.
Shit! So a 30, a cool 30.
Okay, all right, the Reborn, and I mean also. Holy shit! Okay, Sea Swab might need a little bit more Arctis history.
I wasn't here. I was a latecomer. It makes sense. It canonically makes sense.
So you all know that Narcissa has a bunch of souls, her frost elves, and she, at one point, was knocking boots with Vicaris, so she knows that there are a lot of Vaki people down there. So it seemed like she was trying to get all the Vaki out of Vicaris and into Maginox. It also seems like she wants you to get the Obliteratus, but you know she has a bunch of souls, but she wants to bring them back. She doesn't have a lot of bodies, but the Vaki are a lot of bodies. So these things may be loosely connected. For some reason, she wants the Obliteratus, but not for the reasons you want to destroy the skull with the Obliteratus. Either it does something that you don't know about, I will not give you more information. But it seems very much so that she wants an alternate way in because that blood from the Vaki Royal isn't going to do it in its current form.
She got all weirded out when we started talking about possible descendants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there anything else that the Obliteratus does? Catherine, do you have any, books on it?
I could most certainly look into that for you. From what I am aware of, the reason why the Obliteratus was sealed away is, the Vaki hated the undead that ravaged their people, and that's why they were driven down. They were once a part of a group of elves in their history that were that eventually became part of the frost elves and then part of the lava elves, the Vaki. It was because of the threat of the undead at their door, they decided to take different routes. One beseeching a fire elemental for powers to destroy the undead, the others pursuing interesting arts of magic in the frozen wastes of northern Asir. Vakaris led his people and bound all of the Vaki to the whims of a fire elemental, and with that gifted them a hammer that would entirely annihilate the undead, removing them from the cycle of life and death that occurs on Arctis. These souls removed from the Obliteratus would not be returned to the cycle.
Is there somebody keeping Narcissa imprisoned, Catherine?
As in maintaining the wards and bonds? No, I believe her binding occurred quite some time ago. Forgive me, my history on it is not very good. I do not know the particulars of her binding, only that she was considered quite the scourge, willing to sacrifice anyone, anything, for her people.
Well, I can tell you that she really doesn't like the Ascended or Arctis very much. That's about all I've gotten out of our conversations. She thinks everything would be quite a bit better if they all just stopped.
And she purported to. Yeah, my mom amongst her souls.
Corella kind of looks down at the ground.
Regardless if that is true or not, I wouldn't believe a single thing she says without some bit of proof, but it is possible that many wars were waged as the undead ravaged the lands and were eventually entirely pushed back into Polaris.
It was one of those things that when she said the name, it just sounded right.
I'm sorry if that is the case. She is manipulating you emotionally, but
I want to do what's right in the situation, but I don't know how we're supposed to get it out and not. Yeah, I don't know. It's just. It doesn't make sense.
Having the hammer that can entirely eliminate a soul, that is the case, eliminates all memory, existence, every part of that soul that made it what it was. Catherine pauses for a moment. If Narcissa holds such a hatred for the Ascended, perhaps in her mind she thinks that she could possibly wield it against the Ascended themselves. A ridiculous notion. She shakes her head slightly. The Ascended leave this plane. They do not walk it. There's nothing to kill. There is no being.
What is she after? She got really upset when we started talking about the descendants that may or may not exist.
And you just told us that she used to bang the guy?
Yeah, Narcissa and Vicaris, the leader, were lovers at one point.
Wow, it's a crazy X thing.
Or is it she knows that there is a descendant line out there? Because she gave birth to it or something? I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
So, Narcissa has a particular hatred for the Ascended. She keeps the souls of her people locked away in her reliquary. So she must fear whatever cycle brings those back and creates people like you, Azrael and Grabella. People that are your own unique individual, but have come back as a amalgamation of potentially others' memories and feelings and experiences. I cannot say for sure, but it is you and your direction and your mind that makes you who you are. If Narcissa...
I was born from an egg, so we don't have this problem.
If Narcissa so wishes to spare the souls of her people from this cycle, then she must remove herself from Arctis entirely.
Do you think she's trying to get us to do her in?
No. But while she is within the sphere of Arctis, her people, the souls of whatever she believes she holds dear, she won't let go. She will not let them return to the cycle and have peace. She fears too much that they will be like you.
Yeah, it's one of those, I get it, because I don't remember everything, and who I was, it could matter, but it doesn't actually.
There's nothing wrong with understanding and knowing your history, Grabella, but you and I, we have chosen another and have been, well, back for another life that we are free to choose what to do with. Narcissa is not giving that choice to her people. I don't think she understands that. She wants to have them exist in some frozen perpetuity, to never return to Arctis, though they came from it initially. Catherine now is looking at the bag that Azrael holds. Am I striking a nerve yet, Narcissa? There is no answer from the bag.
Is there any temperature change in the bag?
Do you touch it?
Yes.
It is cooler. It is definitely growing colder.
I think she's angry. Well, I'm not sure. She's getting colder. It's probably angry, right?
So
I do wonder if this means that there are more solutions to this acquiring this thing problem than she's let on. But it also sounds like she wants it, so that's also a problem.
well, Narcissa knows the Obliteratus is the only thing that will remove her from this world. But it is possible it is the only thing that might remove an Ascended. But Narcissa, 1, does not have any access to the Ascended. And 2, well, she's stuck in a reliquary because she did bad things, often. She can stay there for all I care. But if she's trying to creep into our consciousness to get information, that is where I'm going to draw the line.
Yeah.
How are you certain that she doesn't have access to the Ascended?
Catherine, she presses her lips into a line. I don't.
Man, just when I thought we were getting things crossed off of our to-do list.
Yeah, can we go back to trying to figure out how to get the bar to profitable?
Yeah.
That seems fun.
I want to get wasted after this.
Narcissa seems to be very insistent on gathering as much information as possible, but you all have looped yourself into these complexities of Maginox Vicaris, and a very lethal undead slaying weapon that the residents of Maginox would much prefer to keep, locked up. But if that weapon does more things than merely sever a soul from its current host, I am loath to try and comprehend what such a soul-rending terror such as Narcissa's soul blight would do with it. My interest lies in the differences in our conversation. 1, I would never guide you all into opening the vault. I know that would be a very dangerous endeavor for you, and frankly, I don't want that thing open at all.
But Lena does. There's a whole contract with a hat involved.
I feel like I just put together the worst possibility in my head of things that could be happening.
What's going on?
Ravella's now worried that her girlfriend is related to Narcissa.
Oh no.
Honestly, I really need to ask Charlotte about her parents.
That would explain a lot of things, actually.
What?
It's cool. You've just been hanging out with your future mother-in-law, who happens to be a lich.
Oh no.
Or great-great-grandmother-in-law.
Something like that. Oh god.
I'm sorry, Grabella, what?
We need to figure out if she's got children strewn about somewhere.
Like finding out your significant other is actually like your estranged like sibling.
What?
I don't.
What do you mean?
If she got upset that we started talking about the king having, potential children still lingering out there, when she thinks that we think that the only thing that we can use to open it is, well, her. Kind of changes a lot of things if we're going after something we previously, or someone that we previously didn't think existed.
Catherine puts a hand over her mouth a little bit.
You said you have a lot of business and ties down there. Obviously, we're supposed to be going down there soon anyway. Which means we're gonna either need to stuff this somewhere, or Azriel, we might have to put a leash on your bag, or you, or both. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
Is it really not possible that we can't put her in a vault somewhere with, like, wardings and things like that? Lena was very insistent that we couldn't do that, but that seemed kind of preposterous to me to start with.
I don't know.
It seems far more dangerous that we carry her around.
Most certainly, as her influence will, over time, probably attempt to corrupt you.
Oh yeah, she's been working on that for a while.
But she is patient. And she knows that, well, aside from Azrael and Grabella, she can wait until the opportunity is right. But you can lock her in another vault, and some other idiot is going to try and find her and utilize her powers while she manipulates them, and the cycle repeats itself.
Yep.
I am concerned about your girlfriend, Grabella.
Yeah, that was really a thought that had not popped into my head as a possibility.
You have told her a significant amount of this information, and if she has any connection to Narcissa or Vicaris, or potentially both.
I didn't want to tell anybody about it until me and Azrael went down there, yeah. God dang it.
That might be our weaker link. I'm sorry, Grabella.
She was awfully eager to share pasta with you on the first date. And pasta, no less.
Pasta was like this. Never mind. That was like day 2, Azrael. We won't talk about the rest. It's fine.
That was the first time you introduced her to your friends.
It's true.
How do we approach that?
Catherine is thinking very, very hard. Do we assume that everything we say in this room that Narcissa already knows?
Probably, or we'll know if we say it.
Or do you think she is mostly relying on your girlfriend to be her eyes and ears?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she knew about Brixis.
Yeah. And if she knew about Brixis...
And Charlindra didn't.
Yeah, Charlindra didn't know nothing about Brixis. She's been down in Vicaris with Thea and everybody trying to sort stuff.
So possibly safe to assume that she knows things that you know, but perhaps not necessarily things that she has heard around her.
Yeah, we haven't, I mean, Charlotte hasn't been told, everything, but she knows enough.
If there was one thing that was common about Narcissa, aside from her tendency to utilize any and all souls to her advantage, was her mastery over the arcane arts. She frowns. I am worried that she's delving into your minds.
So C-Swab is definitely going to go into Kenku speak and say to Catherine, well, if we want to maybe see if Charlindra is a vessel, you can tell me information in Kenku, disinformation, that I can say to Charlindra that if it gets back to her in some way, we'll know.
What do you propose?
I don't know.
It is
going so well.
It is a good thought.
I'm an ideas man, not a plan man.
Though, for now, Sea Swab, since you and I can communicate using clicks and whistles, try not to touch the skull. I'm worried that there might be some deeper connection to those that have already been in close proximity to it. Well, though I am more concerned that your reborn friends might be more susceptible to Narcissus' influence. They survive entirely as a, manifested soul, either within a vessel that was formerly their own, or something else.
Yeah, it sounds like being immortal sucks.
Their mortality is also limited, but being a reborn mix of souls, they all come back in different ways. Some not as well off. Incomplete.
You know, it's
maddened.
really rude to just talk in another language in front of a bunch of people who can't speak it, right?
Forgive me,
You get to talk to the skull and Narcissa all the time.
Oh, do you want to talk? Azrael pulls the skull out and offers it to Seaswab. Do you want to talk to her?
Forgive me, I was expressing
If I
to
could
Seaswab.
spit with this beak, I would spit on it, but I can't. Biologically impossible.
I have concerns that Narcissa's arcane mastery and study of soulcraft, your presence as in Arctis as being a reformed mass of souls, she may have more influence over you. It is a concern, nothing more.
Well, if there's one place that would be safe from Narcissa's meddling, I'm pretty sure it's our new church.
Oh, how so?
Oh, because I consecrated it. And I'm very confident that Narcissa does not follow my faith.
Catherine quirks an eyebrow.
He's got a plan.
Interesting.
Mostly because I don't know what my faith is. Yet. We're still working on the documentation.
That could certainly be a place where you could escape her prying eyes and, eye sockets, dare I say.
What if we just tossed her head in the pit?
And I don't know what's at the bottom of that pit.
Okay, what if we suspended her skull partially part of the way down the pit?
I could summon a swarm of ravens to carry it into the skies and then drop it at a far distance. And while I would frankly love to do that for at least 5 hours, it's not going to do anything. Suspend it, bury it, ignore it. It's just going to cause trouble in another way. For now, we have, a significant amount of information that we can use against her. 1, she has something she wants to protect. Yes, her people, all of her collection of souls she wants so carefully preserved and away from the cycle of Arctis. She doesn't want to let them go and rest. So she and her reliquary sit and be patient until someone is stupid enough to try and free her.
But also smart enough to be successful at freeing her. Because Duke Taylor's tried really hard.
She knows that one of the only things that she is aware of that could not only destroy her, but her people entirely, is the Obliteratus. So what do? Think about that thing until it drives you mad? Or do you try and sucker in a bunch of adventurers in order to get it for you? And if you have it, then what threat is anything else to you?
Well, we would be kind of a threat because we would have it and her skull, and we could just smash her skull. Seems like a bit of a risk, especially if the person in question is so old and patient that they're willing to take a really long time to get it right.
It is true. And Narcissa can't do anything with a bunch of souls that, don't have a physical form. She is limited in whatever conquering she wants to do to the ethereal plane. Unless there's some form of perfect resurrection, then Catherine sighs.
Yeah, I don't feel like that is a thing.
But that doesn't exist. Souls go back to Arctis and rejoin the energies that make up all of us, all of the experiences that we've had, our conversations, our memories. When we pass, they all return to the memory of Arctis. They make up the world. They make up a part of us that brings us all together.
Yeah, that's totally how it works. Subject change. Are we confident that smashing her skull will destroy Narcissa? Or
at least the
do we just...
Umbrellans do believe that the Obliteratus and its pact that it made with the Fire Lord will, and it has in the past, completely annihilated the undead. And
But if she's not really in the skull, like the skull's not animated, and that would explain why she's not concerned about us getting our hands on the hammer while also having her skull. If the skull is not really a thing that's going to destroy her.
You mentioned she's a lich, yes?
Well, that's what she says. That's what Lena says. But what is a lich, really? Sorry, different character. Yeah, she's totally a lich.
Liches once were on the seat of Maginox's council. Catherine looks up at you. Oh, hello. Hi. My cat has joined us. They were...
yes, liches. Please tell me more, Mom.
The liches had presented themselves as reborn, but were heavily involved in the practice of soulcraft, as the Umbrellans may have told you, and utilized others' souls unwillingly to grant themselves more power and extended lifespan. Unlike vampires, those who wished to dwell in Maginox wanted to create a society where blood was given freely, the liches wanted no such thing, and saw themselves as masters of souls, and willing to take what they wanted, when they wanted. Their vision on the council was short-lived, replaced by the Umbrellans. The liches could not bear to follow our rules of sanctity, of choice, and wanted to utilize Maginox as their own farming grounds, and could not grow past their own desire for power. What differentiated them from typical reborn was the fact that they assimilated and utilized others' souls into their own, losing whatever sense of individuality they may have had, or taking souls as power.
Azrael's a little uncomfortable with this line of conversation.
And so the liches were not allowed to participate.
So, like, are we confident that smashing her skull with the obliteratus would destroy her? Because that sounds like no to me.
It is my understanding that the Lich's mastery of the soul offered them the ability to defy destruction, placing
50-50.
pieces of their incomplete souls in separate reliquaries, only entirely destroyed if all of their precious soul pieces were found. They're called phylacteries, and it is one way that the Liches defy death.
If that's the case, then assuming there's some of her soul in her skull, it still wouldn't destroy her. Unless we had all the other pieces.
Is a fair assumption. The other parts of the soul would possibly regenerate over time if she found a different and alternate power source to siphon from. So, yes, potentially just destroying her skull would do nothing more than be a setback, a minor setback, if you will.
But maybe something worth unearthing the hammer over. So
She
maybe
nods.
that's why
Toss in
she's
lava.
not scared.
She nods.
Well,
So she could lose a skull, but she knows, and only she knows, where her other pieces are. You don't know where her other phylacteries are, do you?
Yeah, I think we got a line on one of them, probably.
And so she would just have to, well, wait. Losing a skull. And perhaps a couple of, decades? What is that to a lich?
I have an idea. We would have to go back to our church, but I have an idea of how we could maybe learn more information about Narcissa and the Obliteratus.
What's your idea? What's your idea, Azrael?
Well, I don't know how much I should say right now, in case she can thwart it in some way.
That's a fair
You
point.
could write it down to me, and then I can translate it into Kenku for Catherine.
Well, but if I say it, I mean, if we're assuming that Narcissa can see through mine or Grabella's eyes or senses or whatever, I'm pretty confident she can't see inside my head, because there are things that she would know if she did that, but she can probably at least see the things that Grabella and I see, given that she knew who Brixus was.
Then how do you propose relaying the information, Azrael?
Well, you can come to our church, Catherine.
I think he's saying that we would potentially be well protected in there from prying skulls.
Well, I'm pretty confident that, yeah, she won't have any power to spy on us in there.
You mentioned I had to be your faith? What is that?
Well,
Oh, God.
that's a really good question, actually. You just might not be able to see anything. And as long as you're not trying to sneak in, through other dimensions, you should otherwise be fine from the other wards.
What is faith aside from believing in your goals and ideals and ambitions?
Well, here, this is a really simple question. Do you believe in me?
Of course I believe in Azrael.
Well, then great, you should have no problem.
That'll probably functionally work.
You are as...
We still haven't locked down the gospel yet, guys. We're still in the fuzzy loophole gray area.
Catherine of Ravensblood, do you believe?
I believe!
Like, Catherine can, like, be part of, like, the Orthodox Church, you know, when we have our inevitable Reformation once our gospel is finished.
Feel free to piggyback on our tax-exempt status once we earn it.
I will need lots of incense, though. We'll have to figure that out on the way.
Incense? You mean just smelly wood?
But really expensive smelly wood. I don't know why, like, church is really in...
Catherine, you smell like dried feathers, okay? You don't smell like anything.
What? What? She sniffs herself. I don't... If you exude a strong scent, predators can find you, you know.
Yeah, how many predators you got there, Catherine?
None.
Exactly.
Did she take the unscented perk?
She's just gonna go up and like lean into her and just...
She smells, like a, dead bouquet of roses.
Listen, you smell better than the Narcissa version of you, I can tell you that.
Oh. I do enjoy sitting in trees. Wait, what did Narcissa think I smelled like? Probably bird.
Yeah, kinda.
That's incredibly stereotypical.
It's very problematic. We talked to her about that.
Honestly.
I know you're a vampire, so you probably won't understand this, but like when you eat a lot of garlic, it really comes through your pores. I think like that pixie blood really comes through yours.
Oh.
I mean, in a good way. In a good way.
She smirks a little bit.
You wear your lunch really well, Catherine.
I am what I eat.
It's like, I don't know, like it's not like the meat sweats. It's like do you get like the pixie sweats? I don't know.
She farts glitter. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like going to like Fogo de Chao, but it's just like Pixie de Chao. She just gets the pixie sweats. Like, I can't eat anymore. I'm going to be so constipated tomorrow.
Ew, is that a tiefling pixie? No thanks. Skip.
The fuck is a tiefling pixie?
It's like the type of brisket that they like offer you. You know, like you get the pork shoulder.
Like there's always like the couple
brisket.
of items that nobody wants, and when that guy walks around, there's always a bunch of it because nobody takes it. But then there's like the prime cuts of meat where you're like, yeah, give me that bacon wrap fillet again.
I thought it was like a turducken, like you have like a pixie like wrapped inside of a tiefling.
Oh my god.
Wrapped in bacon.
Catherine waves her hand. Aside from Narcissa doing whatever she can to try and manifest and get whatever information she wants, it's clear she has her own agenda. We need to keep our eyes open. I'm sorry that this happened within the walls of my house, everyone. But...
Not your fault.
Well, it's a little your fault.
If you had a stronger perfume, this wouldn't have been a problem.
You know, after this, I'm most certainly going to look into it and get whatever. You need some fancy wood. I am a warden of the land, Azrael. You need incense, I can provide.
Oh yes, lots of it. And if you want, I can come back here and I can consecrate your whole place. It'll be lovely.
Perhaps...
That works for vampires.
Perhaps not. I entertain a variety of guests here. And I don't want them all having to believe in you in order to cross my threshold.
But that's disappointing. That hurts my feelings only a little bit.
You're going to have to convert them yourself. But
that's
anyway,
what minions are for.
Let us not discuss what our future plans are with Narcissa until I'll get your incense. We'll consecrate your church. And we'll make sure we have a place where we can speak in private without her interjecting whatever reality she wants. It's clear that she wants you to either open the vault for yourself or for whatever she wants to get the hammer. But it is clear she does not fear having her skull obliterated by the hammer. And if it's free from the vault, what is one phylactery when she has everything that she might need in order to wage a war on, well, Maginox entirely? It's also concerning that she showed a particular interest in the Vaki people.
And we do need to go see them in about a week, no matter what.
I'd
And
wonder
we do
why
need to
she...
interrogate Charlindra.
And if Charlindra is a agent of Narcissa's, it wouldn't behoove her to have a bunch of, well, dead bodies on her hands if Charlindra went there and announced to the world that their king was dead. She needs souls, and a dead body is lacking one. So she needs the Vaki people alive for some reason. Honestly, if I were a terrifying, soul-rending lich who felt betrayed by her former fiery lover, I would certainly do whatever I could to try and take it out on his people that left us to die to the undead.
Mm-hmm.
So be wary of anything that she would want to do to the Vaki. I wouldn't put it beyond her to be interested in putting the souls of her people into the bodies of the Vaki.
Oof.
Man, and we just came here to discuss light crime
In politics.
in politics. Oh yeah, Catherine, I don't know if it was you or Narcissa now, but you did promise us VIP access to the coronation.
And a meeting.
Oh yes, and a meeting with the king.
You know I would try and do whatever I could for you, as long as we are on the same page of ensuring that the people of Maginox are safe.
Well, I think the lunch meeting at Coslow's Den is like a sign of good faith or something.
Yeah, and just getting to know what we're rolling ourselves into.
Yeah, and then I think Coslow's will, have what he needs to make the decisions. Because Coslow makes all the decisions. Right, Coslow?
Huh?
Oh dear. I think we've lulled the goblin into slumber. Oslo, are you awake?
Well, yeah, I just was listening. You guys were talking about an awful lot of things that didn't have anything to do with me, so...
Sorry, your friend's souls might be at risk by a soul-crazy lich. Oopsie.
Yep, really sorry about that inconvenience, Coslow.
It's alright.
I, for one, would like to get back to light crime again.
Man. Crime. The real life.
The lich will be patient. Let's just not give her more information than she deserves to know. And she's probably not powerful enough yet to be listening to you all of the time. But let's not push it. Whenever you sanctify your church and you have something important to share, I will see that either myself or one of my ravens will acquire that information.
Oh, no, the church is already consecrated.
Oh, wonderful.
I need
yeah.
the incense for another ritual.
Does it need to be specific?
It needs to be really fancy. Or like a lot of incense.
Okay, it's nice.
I forgot what we needed the incense for.
This is for a completely different spell that Azrael did not say anything about.
Side note, did we ever get did Catherine give us those flowers from the garden for the one guy? I know she kind of didn't like him, but did we end up getting those?
No, she said you
we were talking about it.
She said you have to go get them yourself.
But we were allowed to go get them though.
Yeah, you can go get them.
Everything but the night bloom, I think.
Yeah, the night bloom is like not
No
something
go,
that
but...
she's willing to give up.
Yeah.
But the hold on, I have it in my thing here. Let me look. What was it? The Twilight Orchids and the Dusk Lily?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We were allowed to get those though.
Yep.
Sweet.
Catherine did mention she has a lot of dangerous plants in the night bloom garden, but if you can survive plucking the blooms from some of the more angry plants, you are welcome to do so.
Well, 50% chance I die, so let's go.
50-50.
I'll just let it nibble on me a little bit while you guys figure it out. It's fine.
I can help you acquire that incense, Azrael.
That would be great. Again, a lot of it. Like hundreds of gold worth of incense.
I see. It'll be done.
Okay, if you want, you can just have it delivered to the church. We'll probably go get the flowers or whatever on our way back.
Catherine nods.
Like you just ordered delivery from Catherine, like
yeah,
it wasn't really asked. It was just like, go ahead and deliver it to me.
Yeah, just DoorDash.
We just did spell reagent DoorDash is what just happened, and I'm here for it.
Put it on the tab, DoorDash it. We'll send you the address of the church.
Look, if I can DoorDash dessert, I can definitely DoorDash fucking like clerical incense and herbs and shit.
Clerical incense. Oh boy.
So now, our next step should be ensuring that the Vaki people remain safe and out of Narcissa's sphere of influence.
Yeah.
Important that we check in with your girlfriend to ensure that she is not willingly or unwillingly working for Narcissa.
Rebella stares off, but she nods.
Catherine, if we are able to find the locations of Narcissa's other phylacteries or find out more about the Obliteratus or anything like that, is there anybody trustworthy and powerful arcane practitioner we could reach out to in Maginox to assist?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only able to do so many things.
She nods. I could discuss with and perhaps Miss Silversong. She has said that she's a strong practitioner in the arcane arts. I can ask her.
Great, that would be lovely.
Did I just fucking reverse Uno card on you?
Yeah, you fucking did.
Like, who do I ask about
that's
this?
Right, because Catherine's a fucking druid.
Catherine's a druid.
She's a fucking dirt mage. God damn it. I thought
she's a bird mage?
I thought she was something fucking useless. Or useful. Sorry, excuse me. She's
Catherine is a druid.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought she was useful. I'm sorry.
Wow. Like, Arcanist, I don't know, rain? Reverse Uno flip. How do you like that, Kaiba?
This is fine.
This is fine.
All
Ray's
right.
got important shit to do. She doesn't have time to fuck around with liches.
That is where we will stop today's session with apparently the Giga weird RP / the bad guy is watching you session.
Yes.
As you
We
all
didn't move out of this room
I
all
always
session.
feel like somebody
What is watching me? As Kozlo falls asleep, he's like, wait, the lich that's not bothering us at all? That sounds like the Reborn's problem.
Honestly, Azrael's still not convinced that the lich is a problem.
Yeah, there is some amount of that, but I know Grabella didn't want to say anything like that to Catherine.
I mean, more that, like, she hasn't done anything to us. She's actually been pretty chill, aside from, like, the weird, like, snooze fest she just triggered.
Yeah.
It seemed like she wanted to at least steer that conversation in a different
way.
direction. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh, no, you open the vault for Catherine? That's fine."
Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure if she had just asked Azrael, Azrael would have been like, "Oh yeah, what do you want to know?"
She's not gonna do that.
I know there's no style in that.
But it does like you do have Vakaris is without a leader. You don't know what's going on with Charlindra. You do know Charlindra is addicted to drugs. Well, at least she enjoys drugs. You could ask her why she likes drugs.
Tugum should have left her dead.
Oh no!
I mean,
God,
she's been very
be the big
useful.
Redemption arc?
Oh God.
Are we gonna redeem Tugum?
I don't think so.
No, Tugum's gonna somehow be responsible for freeing Narcissa and then, like, getting his.
Kozlo's just like, I want to open a business.
Yeah, can we go back to the crime? That was compelling. Narcissa shows up and she's like, "No, you have to pay attention to the main story quest."
You're like,
stop doing crime.
Just a brief moment of, hey, remember me?
Narcissa's bored with our crime interlude.
You know, just that lurking darkness, you know, at the corner of your minds. It's fine.
Pay attention to me, I'm a lich.
Go get the hammer, but you can't have the blood, it's mine.
Nee.
I want control of the hammer, Mimi.
Hammer, please.
Put souls on table. One hammer.
She's like, I thought for sure I could get these group of idiots to free me, and they're just sitting around doing the dumbest shit ever. Oh my god. Why was
Which
I
was
found
fine until we brought her potential ancestors into it.
Yeah. Turns out we're actually too much an idiot, even for Narcissa's plan.
Ow! All right, everybody. That'll be the end of session for today. Thank you for the RP. We will get back to much more shenanigans next week. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah.
See ya.
For the game.
All right, thanks,
Bye.
everybody. I'll see you next time.
Good job.
Bye.
All right, that's it for Arctis today. Whoa! Thanks for watching. Catch up on all of the VODs over on YouTube at Arctis DD. And you can catch our shorts and funny moments over on Play Arctis. And I am your DM, Zarina. Hi. Thanks for watching. Session has been interesting. The skull of a lich they carry around suddenly and without warning sometimes manifests. The thing they know will destroy a lich entirely. Or at least a lich's skull lies locked away in a vault. But perhaps Narcissa's not afraid of one phylactery being broken. And will take the risk. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.